Hockey town, baby. Hockey is back. The New York Ranger is back. Oh, baby, I'm excited. The Broadway Blue Shirts is here. Ranger Town, Republic. Salute everyone. I'm doing it just a small quick video just to give a recap of the preview of the upcoming Ranger season. A lot of expectation, a lot of changes. We'll break all that into real quick. It's gonna be a short, quick video. Just wanted to introduce myself and just be excited. I'm Bronx Sports Jedi Kev. I love the Rangers. A big fan, a huge fan of the Rangers. Let's get right into the preview with the Rangers. The New York Rangers made some pretty significant changes in the offseason. Changes from the dynamics of the depth of this team. They changed the coach also. So there's a lot of changes, a lot of positivity, and the Rangers are looking for a different look this season for they were last season. And previous years, a little tougher. They bought some additions, and subtractions as well. We know no longer Hank's team, no Lundqvist, but now you see Brian and Reeves. You brought in Ritro. You have a team that has a lot of young, skilled players, and they need to protect those young players. You got to bring the big, heavier teams in the division, the Tom Hardy with Washington situation, the Islanders. They got a lot of tough guys with Matt Martin and company, and they need to catch up with it, try to close the gap. And the Rangers are going to play that heavy brand of hockey. And then you can see at the end of the season, the Rangers thought they were still in the Rangers in the playoff race, and they got beat up by the Islanders. And they fell short of getting into the playoffs. And of course, the Tom Wilson incident and the way they responded the next day wasn't enough. They didn't have enough beef or toughness. So that's what made these moves this upcoming season with the Ryan Reeves moves. Got Barclay Goodrow. That was a real good move. Barclay Goodrow was a good move there. You know, he you don't count the qualified game. They haven't made the playoffs in four straight seasons. Barclay Goodrow is a two-time Stanley Cup champion. He's a versatile player. I mean, he's not the top echelon, but he's going to be a solid pro in there. And Mika Savanachas is the big, and Matani Perneri. Those are the main guys. Adam Fox, got a Norris Trophy, but Goodrow brings that leadership and fills that hole. He can play center, wing, third line, fourth wing. He kills penalties the first minute of penalties, the last minute of penalty guy. And that's a good move. They brought that veteran in. That's the start of a good move of bringing some smart veterans to help the young and bringing a lot of grittiness to the team to help with the young Lafreniere and Kako. And the biggest one is the coach, Gallant. He brings that toughness element team. And the improvement that the Rangers needed are going to make our internal. They need Gallant to help them get these guys to take that next step. You don't talk about Lafreniere, and can he unlock him and see where he's at and see where he's comfortable with the lineup? And then they'll work through that. And he's going to give him that free range and allow him to groom. You bring a new coach in here with those young players and allow them to excel. And he's a player's coach. You brought him in here. He saw his proof. He brings the best out of his players. He saw it in Vegas. And this is what the young players needed. They're a little unproven. They need to take that next step in the NHL. And that's the perfect guy to usher them there, in my opinion. And he plays the up-tempo style of fast, and that suits the Rangers. Your Lafreniere, Kreider, Panarin, and Savannah and Kako and Strome. The top six that I mentioned there, those top players, and the guys in the back end like DeAndre Miller, Adam Fox, Trouba, and so forth. Those guys are going to love to play that quick pace, high move. Put that pressure on their opponents, and those guys got to get more though. You got to get more out of your first two picks, first and two picks for Lafreniere and Kako. They need to elevate their game. You got to expect them to be. You don't expect them to be middling players. You expect them to be superstars. They've been drafted in that high lottery. But the question with the Rangers is, can they get enough out of Lafreniere and of Kako right now to help them push the other six players on the roster? And we know what Panera's going to do. We know what the other one's going to do. But Vanachas, we know what Mika Savanachas is going to do. But we need to know they're the X factors, the development of these two players, if they're going to be X factors or scorers in the league. And the Rangers are going to run into the depth down the center. Maybe they address that in the trading deadline upcoming. See what centers are available. They need. There were some big name centers available. Jack Eichel, of course. You know, Philip Deneau. For LA Kings. But you look at the defense, though. I think the top four is settled here. You got Adam Fox. You got Vertruba, John Miller, and who fits in that third pairing of that center, the defenseman who gets into that third pairing, or maybe Ryan Lundgren, Lindquist, the rookie. They could be the third pairing, but we shall see if Zach Jones, Matt Robinson, or Robertson, or Schneider could be ended up at some point playing in that third pairing in the defenseman. You know, they got some moves. They got some young players in here. You love that influx of young talent that the Rangers bring and provide. So they're gonna need their roster, their depth there, and it's good to have it. It's good to have it. Top four is settled, and then you got the Norris Trophy and Fox. Fox is the guy who's gonna John Arcolan's gonna love Adam Fox. His intelligence on the ice, the way he moves the puck, the way he moves around that ice. And Lundqvist is the rookie. Everyone loves him. Can this Lundqvist, another Lundqvist, by the way, no pun intended, can this Lundqvist be what he was in Sweden? One of the best defensemen in Sweden. He's still young. He's going to have a presence, and can he gel together with the young other two, with Kako and Lafreniere? That'll be phenomenal to see that. But when we talk about this, is the goaltending, which the goaltending is settled. Sherskin is the number one goalie. You know, you look around, and this team is still a little bit of question marks, but you got to be excited with the New York Rangers. They got a lot of youth, and they got sported some good veterans and some toughness. And this team shouldn't be a team that's lingering to be in a playoff team. They should be like middle of the pack, and they're gonna make moves. They're gonna be in the playoffs, but where they're gonna be in the seeding, it's up to the way they gel. I think Kako and Lafreniere means a lot to them to see if they're gonna be in the top four echelons or stay, around 5, 6, 7. I don't think they'll be in danger of not making the playoffs like last season. I think they're ready to take that next step, but I don't know if they're gonna have enough to make that long playoff run. But toughness still work, veterans still help. Gerard Gallant, they got the right coach. They're in the right path, and they just missing that center depth. How much these guys are gonna take the next step? It's the big question. It's the big question mark. They're close. They're not just there for Stanley Cup, but in their cups of making something really nice. I think they're going to be very exciting. They're going to really make a real good regular season, but you never know. Who knows? They might. It all depends on scheduling. If they come out of the center of the ice right away, and they establish the first 10 games, and they end up, let's say, 7-3 in the first 10 games. Hey, you're already starting. You're on a good foot. You got a new head coach, a new system. If the two young players, or three now with Lundqvist, the defenseman, if they all could come in there and start hitting, Savannah Chap, what you're gonna get from the bread man, what you're gonna get from everyone, man. What you could have really good positive expectations with the Rangers. I'm not going to put a number on it. I do want to see more games. I want to see them gel, and before we do a really assessment on the Rangers, we want to see exactly how many games, how they gel, how they look there. So we got to give them about 10 to 15 games, in my opinion, to see how far they're going to go. But it's going to be a much mass improvement, in my opinion, from last season. It's going to be much more different. Of course, they got the toughness, and they got now the speed to go with it. And man, you got to be excited if you're a Rangers fan. Broadway Blue Shirts. I think they're going to close the gap. One thing you can do, you cannot lose. 4 straight. You can't keep losing on a losing streak against the Islanders. Your rivals, your metropolitan rivals with the Devils, the Islanders. You got to win these games. The Garden Trust did not like that. I think that's what led to the demise of former president. I think that's what James Rosen and John Davison and company is, the fact that they allowed the Islanders to come in here and your rivals, Devils, to beat you up on you and take so many games, and also probably cost them the reason for not swinging in the playoffs. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take leaps forward, and I think the Rangers did this year. I think they took a couple steps back this year. I think they're going to take leaps forward. Remember, when you're picked 1 and 2 in consecutive years, players that's wise, they gotta be more than middle of the pack teams. I know I don't want to sound a little redundant, but I think there's too much talent on the New York Rangers for them to finish where they've been finishing in NIPAC. But we shall see there. I'm definitely going to put a poll up there, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please answer the poll. I have a poll question. What's your expectation with the New York Rangers? If you're a Ranger fan, how many games you think they're going to win? Feel free to answer the poll, the questions, and of course, like and subscribe. Follow us here at the YouTube channel Bronx Sports Jedi. I appreciate it. Also, we are also streaming in all different parts, and also in podcasts. We have Spotify and Anchor. We're in all different platforms. You follow the notification in the community or at the about section in the YouTube video and follow us, man. We appreciate you guys. Be part of the Bronx Sport Jedi Network and check out our other contents. We have the MMA program, Thursday nights with Chef Dan and Austin and myself. We also have the Yankee Roundtable, the Yankee Watch Along games, the Return of the Knicks podcast, as well as Roundtable Talk. Also, live watch along calls, play by play, heavy chat interaction with the New York Knicks games upcoming. Maybe one of these days we'll do Hockey Town Republic live watch along. I might, it's going to be tough for me to try to do a play by play of the Rangers, especially with so many international names. But hey, I'll give it a shot. The worst thing I could do is sound bad, and I know I failed, but you know what? I wouldn't know if I wouldn't try. But I really count on you guys for supporting me. I just wanted to make a quick intro video and talk on my opinion on the New York Rangers and my thoughts. We'll do another, quarter of the season in. We'll do another Rangertown Republic to see what we think so far, and maybe we'll, depending if I get more guests, if I get guests on, we'll do talk about, every recap of the games and so forth. We know they opened the season up Wednesday night against the Stars. It's going to be on TNT, national televised games. Remember, they moved the TV package now. They're on ESPN and now TNT, so it's going to be fun to see that. And the Rangers, they're going to draw the eyeballs. So I'm looking forward to it. But I want to say, everyone, thank you so much from Bronx Sports Jedi Network. This is Bronx Sports Jedi Kev saying thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next time. Go Rangers. Absolutely.